Hello students. So last day we start about the human eye system, and the eye enables us to see the various objects around us. The main parts of the human eyes are cornea, iris, pupil, ciliary muscles, and eye lens. And this eye lens is a fixable convex lens, and the also important part is retina and optic nerve. Our eye is shaped like a ball. It has a roughly spherical shape. The outer coat of the eye is white. The outer coat of the eye is tough so that it can protect the interior of the eye from damage during an accident. The front part of eye is called cornea. It is made of a transparent substances, and it is bulging out. The light coming from an object enters the eye through cornea. The main function of cornea is to protect the eye, but it also helps in focusing some light by converging action. Just behind the cornea, it is the iris. Iris is the colored part of the eye. The iris has a hole at its center which is called pupil. Pupil appears like a dark spot in the center of iris because no light is reflected from it. Iris controls the amount of light entering the eye by adjusting the size of pupil. The iris is actually that part of the eye which gives the eye its distinctive color. Behind pupil, it is the eye lens. The eye lens is a convex lens and made of a transparent and flexible material like jelly. The eye lens is actually a living lens because it is made of transparent living cells which allow light to pass through them. The eye lens is held in position by ciliary muscles, whose one side is attached to the eye lens and the other side is attached to the eyeball. The ciliary muscles can change the curvature of eye lens and make it thin or thick according to the need of the eye. The ciliary muscles can change the focal length of the eye according to the requirements of the eye to see distant object or nearby object. The focal length of the eye lens is controlled by ciliary muscles. The eye lens is a fixable convex lens whose thickness and hence focal length can be changed by the action of ciliary muscles. On the other hand, a glass convex lens has a fixed thickness due to which its focal length is also fixed and cannot be changed. So this is the main difference between the eye lens and normal glass lens. The retina is the screen on which the image is formed in the eye. I repeat, the retina is the screen on which the image actually formed. The retina is behind the eye lens at the back part of the eye, and the eye lens focuses the image of an object on the retina. The retina is attached to optic nerve, and the optic nerve carries the image formed on retina to brain in the form of electrical signals. So the space between the cornea and eye lens is filled with a viscous liquid called aqueous humor, and the space between eye lens and retina is filled with another liquid called vitreous humor. So the next question is how our eye actually work. When you look at an object, then light rays come from the object, enters the pupil of the eye and fall on the eye lens. The eye lens is a convex lens, so it converges the light rays and produce a real and inverted image of the object on the retina. The retina has a large number of light sensitive cells. When the image of the object falls on the retina, then the light sensitive cells generate electrical signals, and the retina sends these electrical signals to the brain through the optic nerves, and we are able to see the object. The image of an object from on the retina is inverted, but our brain interprets the image as that of an erect object. So, what is the function of iris and pupil? It is an important part. The iris automatically adjusts the size of pupil according to the intensity of light received by the eye from the surroundings. If the amount of light around us is very high, normally during the daytime, then iris contracts the pupil and makes the pupil small, and hence reduce the amount of light entering the eye. Similarly, if the amount of light around us is small, normally in the dark room or during at night, then iris expands the pupil and makes the pupil large so that more light can enter the eye. This is because we need to allow more light to go into the eye when the outside light is dim, so as we see properly. Next part is rods and cones. Rods are the rod-shaped cells present in the retina of an eye which are sensitive to dim light. Rods are the most important for vision in dim light and normally during at night time. So the rod cells of the retina do not provide information about the color of the object. And next one is cones. Cones are the cone-shaped cells present in the retina of an eye which are sensitive to bright light or normal light. Cones also causes the sensation of color of object in the retina of the eye, are responsible for color vision. So we can say these cones are the most important part because it is responsible for our color vision. Next is blind spot. At the junction of optic nerves and retina in the eye, there are no light sensitive cells. Actually, there are present no rods or cones, due to which no vision is possible at that spot. This is called the blind spot. Blind spot is a small area of retina insensitive of light where the optic nerves leaves the eye. When the image of an object is formed at the blind spot in the eye, it cannot be seen by the eye. Blind spot is not sensitive to light because there are no light sensitive cells like rods or cone in this region. If we look at a bright object and then close our eyes, the image of the object will remain in our eyes for very short duration. Thus, the image formed on the retina of the eye does not fade away immediately. Actually, this image of an object seen by our eyes persists on our retina for about 1/16th time of second, even after the object has disappeared from our view. This happens because the stimulated light sensitive cells of the retina take a little time to come back to their original state. The ability of an eye to continue to see the image of an object for a very short duration, even after the object had disappeared from view, is called persistence of vision. Normally, our range of vision for a normal human eye is the furthest point from the eye at which an object can be seen clearly is known as the far point of the eye. The far point of a normal human eye is at infinity, but actually we cannot see it. The nearest point up to which human eye can see an object clearly without any strain is called the near point of an eye. The near point of a normal human being is near about 25 centimeter from the eye, and the near point of an eye is also known as the least distance of distinct vision. This means the least distance of a distinct vision for a normal human eye is about 25 centimeter, and far point for a human eye is at infinity. A normal eye can see the distinct object as well as the nearby object by focusing the image of distinct object as well as nearby object on its retina by changing the thickness of its lens. A normal eye can see the distant objects as well as the nearby object by focusing the image of distant objects as well as the nearby object on its retina by changing the thickness. The ciliary muscles of the eye can change the thickness of the soft and flexible eye lens and hence change the converging power of the eye lens. When the eye is looking at the distant object, the ciliary muscles are relaxed, due to which the eye lens is thin, and the thin eye lens has smaller converging power, which is sufficient to converge the parallel rays of light coming from the distant object to form its image on the retina. When the same eye is looking at the nearby object, the ciliary muscles get stretched, due to which the eye lens becomes thick, and the thick eye lens has greater converging power, which is required to converge the diverging rays of light coming from a nearby object to form its image on the retina. And there is two defects of our eye, that is called myopia and hypermetropia. So what is myopia? Myopia is the defect of eye, or we can say it is a defect of vision due to which a person cannot see the distant objects clearly. Or hypermetropia is called so hypermetropia is that defect of eye for which a person cannot see the nearby object clearly. So when we cannot see the nearby object, it is called hypermetropia, and when we cannot see the distant object, it is called myopia. Myopia is caused either due to high converging power of the eye lens or due to eyeball being too long. In an eye suffering from myopia, the image of distant object is formed in front of retina, due to which the person cannot see it clearly. That is the main point. If a person suffering from myopia, then the image from in front of the retina. Similarly, hypermetropia means when the image of the nearby object formed on the retina, and hence the person cannot see it clearly. So contract develops when the eye lens of a person become cloudy or even opaque due to the formation of membrane over it. It contracts the we can say that it is decrease the vision of eye gradually, and it can even lead to total loss of vision of the eye. The vision of the person can be restored after getting the surgery done by the eye having character. The opaque lens is removed from the eye of the person by surgical operation, and a new artificial lens is inserted in that place. So how can we care our eyes? So there are so many procedures. First, wash your eyes at least twice a day with clean water. Do not read or write in dim light because it puts strain on the eyes and may cause headache. Always read by keeping the book at normal distance for distinct vision. Do not read by being the book too close to you. Raise your eyes from time to time while reading. If something gets into your eyes, splash the eyes with a lot of clean water. Do not rub your eyes with your hand. If you find difficulty in reading a book or writing on a blackboard, then get your eye checked by an eye specialist doctor. In case of any injury or any other problems to your eyes, consult an eye specialist. And vitamin A is very essential for keeping the eye healthy. So due to the deficiency of vitamin A in the diet, it is responsible for many diseases as well as deficiency in our vision. So due to the vitamin A person can suffer if a person cannot see the object properly at the night time, which is called the night blindness. So those persons who are unable to see are known as visually challenged person, and the most popular reason for visually challenged person which can make them read and write in Braille. Braille is a written language for the visually challenged person in which characters are represented by pattern of raised dots. The visually challenged person recognize the words written on a Braille sheets by touching the patterns or dots. So this is our entire chapter. Thank you.